Welcome to I Wrote That, a podcast where we bring authors and industry experts together to talk about all things books and make the journey to authorship just a little bit easier. My name is Larissa Sowan, and I am the CEO of Next Page Publishing, a hybrid publishing house where we help entrepreneurs write books to grow their businesses. Now, I'm on a mission to help aspiring authors feel like they are in control of the publishing journey and that they are supported by a team of experts who genuinely want the best for them and their books. If you are in the very beginning of your journey, or maybe you have a manuscript that you're finished and you're not sure how to get it out into the world, I encourage you to reach out to us at nextpagepublishing.net. You can schedule your free discovery call and find out how our team of experts can make your journey to being a published author easy, smooth, and successful. Now, without further ado, let's get on to our next amazing guest and make your journey to authorship a little less complicated. Today, we have a very special guest coming on to talk about speaker opportunities and how do you become a speaker and how do you use your book to amplify your speaking brand. And I'm really excited for this conversation. But first, I'll just introduce her and you can hear all of the goodies about Jackie Lapin. Her mission is to help leaders, entrepreneurs, coaches, and authors like you find and secure their next clients by getting in front of more audiences faster. Her SpeakerTunity, the speaker and leader resource company, has researched hundreds of thousands of speaking lead contracts and has curated them to meet their needs. Jackie's SpeakerTunity members-only program provides leads for live and virtual events and meetings, conferences, podcasts, radio shows, videocasts, virtual summits, TEDx events, and more. SpeakerTunity is the ultimate speaker toolbox, one-stop shop for the speaker. And I have to say, I've dove into your website, I've dove into your programs, I've done a deep dive, and I would have to agree with the ultimate speaker toolbox. Like, it is robust. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Larissa.
I love when the bios are long because I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff. And that is exactly what you're bringing to the table. When you and I first started chatting, the people that I partner with right now are the more of the done for you side. And you don't find a lot of that in the speaker world. It's like, oh, I'll give you a list of things and I'll teach you how to write a pitch and I'll show you, but you are the done for, you have a done for you component to your program, which I love. So can you just break down a little bit like how your programs work and who they're best for?
You bet. So let's start with the fact that I have a radio podcast tour that can be done for you or done with you, where I introduce authors to 9,000 radio shows and podcasts with a minimum guarantee of 30 invitations. We have been doing that for like 14 years. Our clients include Don Miguel Ruiz, Ariel Ford, James Twyman, Joe Vitale, Chris and Jan Atwood, Maureen St. Germain, and Marie Diamond, among others. And with 400 different people that we have served by introducing them to their core media that are interested in what they're bringing to the table. We specialize in anything that's personal growth, spirituality, health and wellness, women's empowerment, improving one's life, etc., and some conscious business. So if your work improves one's life, one's business, or the planet, your book does, then that's one of the things that we do. And that's completely, that's a all-in-one program. Now, that's under our Conscious Media Relations banner, but you can access it through SpeakerTunity. Now, SpeakerTunity itself focuses on curating the leads. And we have a basic membership program, which is a great place for most people to go in. They have a choice of 40 podcasts that are lifestyle or life enhancing every month, 40 podcasts and radio shows that are B2B. Then all the virtual summits that are looking for guest presenters and collaborative giveaways looking for partners. So you can grow your list to qualify for more summits. Or speaker leads all over North America for a transformational leader. It's got a little smorgasbord of everything. And everything we do is US and Canada. And then the last one is conferences. And this is global. We will give you 4,000 plus conferences every single month that are looking for speakers. We have aggregated all the calls for speakers in one place so that you can just go in. We've got 20 different categories. You find the ones that are right for you. And then you can start filling in forms to apply to those conferences. But let's say that you don't want to fill in all those forms. So we have a virtual assistant service that you can retain to do that. But we also, let's say that you want to saturate your market. You've got a book and you really want to hit the locals. We have 75 regional directories in the US and Canada with all the meetings, venues, and associations. It's not corporate, it's not events, it's meetings, it's evergreen. They're always looking for speakers. So you could either take that list and pursue it on your own, and it's divided into 4 categories: business, philanthropic and service, all the special interest groups, and all the spiritual. You can either apply to the ones that on your own, or get the VAs to do it for you. We also have niche directories. Let's say that you want to talk to all the women's business meetings across North America, or all the addiction treatment centers, or all the lawyers, or all the entrepreneur and business meetings. We've got 60 different specialty categories: parenting meetings, spiritual centers, that you can just get that list and pursue them, or hire the VAs to do that. Now, let's say that you want to get on a TEDx. We have the world's most comprehensive list of TEDx's. It gives you what's close to you, what you can see which ones have a theme that applies to you. You can pick some. If you want to travel globally, you can see what language they're in. So you don't have to figure out where are the TEDx's you want to find, because they're easily found. And so that's a simple directory that we have. So that's kind of an assortment of the directories we have. But let's say that you need some graphic design for speaker sheets, podcast sheets, conference roll-up banners, book flyers, a slide deck, virtual background, any of those things we can design for you. And it's really easy because you pick from a template, choose colors, and then fill in the form. We'll tell you exactly what to give us. You don't even have to think, well, what do I have to put in this? We've made that so simple. So that, again, is it done with you. You provide the resources. We'll turn it back to you looking fabulous in just a few days. In fact, we packaged up a lot of those into our brand boosting package. So a podcast sheet, speaker sheet, virtual background, branded slide deck, and your conference roll-up banner all in one. So that's a great thing to get you started from a branding standpoint. Now, I've got training programs if you do want to book yourself. If you don't, no worries. You can either hire the VA service, but we've got 2 other alternatives as well. If you're an experienced speaker and you really have already been out on some big stages and you're looking to get paid for more speaking opportunities, we have a booking agent partner that will do that for you. And then lastly, let's say you don't want to spend the money to have a monthly rep. You can also buy a distribution by email to 10,000 meeting planners and put in your profile and your presentation based on what your book is all about, and send that to 10,000 people with a 60% open rate. So they're going to look at it and decide if you're right for them, and they will contact you directly if you're interested. So we've basically filled in a whole array of resources, and depending on how much work you want to do, how much work we do. But we've done it in such a way that we'll meet you where you are. So if you're a basic membership program, that's great. If you want to go up and get all 5 of those products, in the first choice, you get 1. If you want all 5 of the products, then you just step up to the next level. And as you go up, you get more resources. So we don't overwhelm you at the beginning. You can start small. Let's say that you're an author and you're not confident enough on stage. Start with podcasts. It's the simplest and easy way they do. You give them a great list of questions that more or less replicates what your signature speech would be, because it's hitting all the high points in your book. Then by the time you've done 20 or 30 or 40 of those, you're really more comfortable and you're ready to start doing local meetings. And from there, you're ready to move up to conferences. So we're with you wherever you are.
And I think that's a beautiful relationship for a lot of the authors, especially the ones that come through our doors of Next Page Publishing and write a book with us, is they're looking for that done with you or done for you component. They're the type of people that are fully capable of doing this themselves, but they are smart enough to know that they shouldn't be doing it all themselves and putting all of their hard-earned energy and like finite resources into doing something like this. And I'll be totally honest, in 2025, I would be very surprised if I'm not a part of your programs, because I see the value in it. And I agree that speaking is one of the best ways to get our brands noticed. And when you couple it with a book, I I'll rephrase that. Speaking and a book are two of the best ways to get your brand noticed. And when you put them together, they are an absolute powerhouse. So when authors come through your program, what kind of coaching do you give them on how to use their book at speaking events?
We don't, as of right now, we don't do a lot of coaching. We are going to start a coaching program again on how to get booked. But we leave more of that to people like yourself to talk specifically about how to maximize your book from the stage. I know that you've probably got a ton of ways to do that. And, our mission is basically to focus on educating you to what's going to help you get booked.
Okay.
So we really focus on that aspect of it. And one of the things we did for those high enders is we put all of this in one program. We also have a concierge program that includes the branding package, the radio podcast tour, all of our tools, and a year's worth of the virtual assistant service with a concierge to supervise and manage and help make sure everything is optimized. So, that was one of the things that up until now, we really didn't have an all-in-one package, but late last year, we put it all together.
Mm-hmm. And I think the beauty, so I asked the question, if I asked the question, I better answer the question if you didn't answer it. So how do we coach authors to use their books at the back end? So I'm going to give one of the many ways that we do coach people so that if you're listening and you're like, no, I really did want an answer to that question. One of them is working with the event organizers to buy your book in bulk. So they buy your book for 55% of the retail cost, which is basically print cost. So you're not making a ton of money off of it in book sales per se, but you have liaised with the event organizer to provide all of their guests with a free sample or a free complimentary copy of your book. And then if your book is written the way that we coach you to write it, it sells into your higher ticket program. A lot of the books that we write, it's not the royalties that we're going for. We will never tell you you're going to be a millionaire off of your royalties. It's the back end sales. And so by partnering with the organizer of the event to provide copies to everyone of your book, you are getting huge brand authority. That host is buying into your message, and that trust is relaying to their audience. And so that's just one of the ways that we will coach you on how to use your book as part of a speaking event. I'm curious to see, Jackie, what your thoughts are on that approach.
So we always recommend that people have more than one thing to offer, because some people aren't going to buy the first time that they hear your book, and certainly they may not act on the more extensive offer right away. But so we suggest that when you're doing a podcast or a stage, whenever possible, you include your book, your free gift, your free opt-in to make sure that they are joining your community so that you can make sales going forward. And then if you have an offer, add the offer as well. So I know that goes against the grain of ask people to do one thing, but we find that by doing all three things, you're really optimizing and maximizing the catching everybody in your net one way or the other.
Yeah, I think it plays really well into the multi-funnel tier approach too that we're adding into our business model this year of it's not one funnel, we actually have a 3-funnel system, and they all have different goals, but depending on where that reader or buyer or listener or whatever that person is in their journey, they can pick the funnel that's right for them and they can follow into it. So it might be that freebie. Maybe that's all that person is willing to commit to you is to download your freebie. And then they're still in your nurture sequence. Maybe it's to go buy your book. Maybe they've bought your book and now they want the resources out of your book. Maybe they are all in and they're ready to invest in high ticket. So I absolutely agree with that. I love that advice. I want to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about how do you pick events that are actually good for you and your brand and are going to move the needle. So we'll be right back with that question. Hey, aspiring author. Have you been exploring the idea of adding a book to your business and creating a step in your funnel that moves you from the free offer to that high ticket program that you have? You need a low ticket offer. And I'm talking between $3 and $20 that your audience can consume on their term and is in a format that they trust. And who doesn't trust a good book? Now, the trick becomes creating the content that actually converts into your high ticket offer. This is where Auth comes in. At the heart of the Auth event, we're helping aspiring authors with the basics, One is nailing down the art of writing that 5-star read. And we're creating the plan for how to make it successful. You can't just write a book, you have to market it. You have to know how to use it. You have to build it into your funnels. It's happening on March 18th. So secure your spot today. Head on down. You can click that link. It's right below here and prepare for a day of unparalleled inspiration and actionable insights. I'll see you there. Okay, we're back with Jackie. And this is a question that I have burning on the tip of my tongue. And she even put it in her notes of questions I could ask her. And I was like, yay, that is the one I'm going to pick. How do you know when an event is right for you and your brand? And I'm going to speak from experience on this. My brand started roughly 2 years ago, and I took literally every speaking opportunity that I could get. And I think I filled my calendar. I had about 30 podcasts in a year, and it was a lot. But only 3 or 4 of those actually resulted in clients. So how do you know, as either a new brand or an experienced one, which opportunities to go after?
Well, the first thing is it the exact right audience? It's got to have your avatar as their target audience. So when you're looking at conferences and you're looking at, let's say, business women, you got to look for business women's conferences. You got to look for podcasts that focus on business women. So there's got to be a market match to who your target audience is. That's number one. Secondly, you want to look at, from a standpoint, if you're in the beginning of your stages, you're going to take more events that are not as large, that may be localized. But as you grow, you're going to want to look for larger events, larger podcasts. And when you do that, you want to look at the size of the podcast, how many listeners they have, how many recordings, episodes they have, to give you an idea. And it's the same thing with conferences. A lot of times you can look and find out more about the organizer, see what their track record is, see how many people showed up at the last event. These are all important things. So, but one thing I will tell you in today's world, because of the show up rate decline, when anybody tells you, well, we anticipate 200 people, cut that in half at least. You're probably not going to be talking to that many people. And when you're evaluating where you're going to put your time, if size is a big issue to you, keep that in mind when you're looking for the size of the kind of event you're looking for. So those are a couple of factors. Another is who else is on the dais? If they have other kinds of speaking speakers, are they the kind of people that are going to draw a big audience? Are they competitive to you? I have one issue is that my largest competitor shows up in almost everything I do. And we are going head to head frequently. And so and there's a time in your life when you can begin paying for sponsored spots. And you have to know the numbers, how many you convert on a regular basis. If you have an audience of 40, you know that you convert 10 people generally. You need to then do the numbers to say whether it's worth the money that the host is asking. Can you make enough money from that stage? But in this particular case, it doesn't pay for me to be in the same conferences with her because she's coming over the top on me every time. So I need to be ginger about where I put my money if I'm being asked to pay to speak, to make sure that I'm the big gun in my category. So that's an important one for you to look at. Also, whether it's live or virtual, whether that makes a difference for you. If you're, and whether they're going to pay you to come. If it's a live event and they're not going to pay you, then you're going to have to make that judgment as to whether that's worth going to, whether it's the right audience and the right size and all the other factors that go into it. Virtual is an easier decision because there's no financial investment. So you can take a flyer on a virtual event and not be risking anything except an hour of your time, unless they ask you to sit on the conference for the entire 2 or 3 days. That can be a real pain. So that's another factor that's going to influence which you pick and which you don't pick. Now, I'll tell you that from a standpoint, live is back in a big way for conferences, and there's still about a third of them, 25% that are hybrid and 25% that are virtual. That's what we're seeing in our database. So I think that's pretty much across the board. And when you're looking at local kinds of organizations, Many of them have chapters locally. Sometimes they're live, sometimes they're virtual, but many of them have a national virtual meeting once a month. And that's a really good opportunity because it draws from all over the country. And those meetings can be pretty substantial and a good way to market what you have.
That's awesome. I have a question about kind of the exclusivity of you and your topic to a event. Would it be uncouth to sign with an event, especially an event that you're paying for, and then ask for exclusive rights on this topic so that they couldn't go out and then go to your competitor and say, okay, she's speaking, do you want to come too? Does that kind of relationship ever happen?
Yes, but you just did it in the opposite order.
Okay.
You get the anonymity, the exclusivity, and then you sign.
Yes.
But you don't have leverage if you
yeah, okay, yeah, very good distinction, very important distinction, absolutely. So you would get some commitment that they're not going to go out to your competitors or find someone that's speaking on a similar topic to you, and then there's two of you, and you're competing at that point.
And when you're paying, you absolutely have the right to do that.
Okay, and when you're being paid to do that, less of a right?
Yes, less leverage, but you can still make that request and see if they'll give that to you.
That is a fabulous tip. I think that's our gold mine right there. Thank you for that. Okay, so when you are reaching out to these people, these groups that are organizing the event, what is like the headliner that you put in to grab their attention? What is it that if you don't put anything else in your email or your phone call, my inner anxiety to phone call goes up, but like, let's say somebody's brave enough to do a phone call. What is the number one thing you want to say to get that person to want to invest in you or invite you?
There's two things. One, what problem do you solve for that community? Number one has to be in everything. What is keeping them awake nights, and how do you fix it? That's number one. Number two is your presentation has to have a rocket title. It's got to have a title that speaks to the outcome, what they're going to experience on the other end. It's got to be different than everybody else. It's got to sound unique. It's got to be exciting.
I love that. I'm going to wrap up with the favorite question that I always ask everyone. What advice do you have for aspiring authors?
Don't just wait for speaking opportunities to come across your transom. You won't get the right ones, and you won't get enough. So you have to book 3 hours of your time in your schedule every week to either do this or supervise a team to do this. Because if you don't, it won't happen. And you don't want to hand this off to somebody without actually looking over their shoulders, making sure they're contacting the right people, that they're saying the right things. You might want to script what they're saying. You want to make sure that who's representing you is representing you to the best of their ability, and you don't just let it run. You stay on top of it. Those are the two things that I would say.
Wonderful. And what do you have any offers for our listeners?
Yes, we have a couple of very cool things. The first one is 44 ways to seduce your next client from stages, podcasts, radio shows, and virtual summits. This gives you a great opening concept of all the other kinds of lead magnets that you could use besides of an ebook or a consultation with you, giving you all kinds of ways that you can induce people into your audience. So that's one thing. And then the other is a really great masterclass that I did that I think would be of value too. It's called How to Engage Other People's Audience to Sell Your Books Faster. And and so that basically, I go through all the different ways that you can tap into other people's audiences, optimize and maximize your ability to sell your book.
Wonderful. So we're going to make sure both of those links are down in the show notes so you can just scroll down and grab those. And I want to thank you, Jackie. This has been absolutely wonderful. I love your program. I love what you're doing. I love the done with you and done for you components. And like I said, in 2025, you'll see me in there. I can almost guarantee it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of I Wrote That. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to our show so you don't miss any of our upcoming guests. And if this has led you to some inspiration to want to get started on your own authorship journey, whether you just have an idea or you have a manuscript that you're ready to publish, reach out to us at nextpagepublishing.net, and we will match you up with our team of experts to make the journey simple, easy, and smooth.